This is like the 100th time that I've recorded a video, but I'm gonna try and make it quick because my previous recordings were like 30 minutes at minimum. The language called Ba 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 Ba. It is an entry for the Cursed Online Circus 2 by Agma Schwa. Please do mind that is my current expression. Bab, also known as Civilized Cavamenian, is a language spoken by the civilized cavemen, aka Bab in their own language. They were a group of cavemen who were profoundly obsessed with proper mannerisms and organization. The language is mostly agglutinative and possesses a large amount of inflection required for each part of speech. The language is written differently. It is not from left to right, but in a particular syntax. Now, first of all, let's talk about the grammar, the parts of speech. We have the basic ones, nouns and verbs. We also have adjectives and adverbs, and then we have extent and action noun. Extent is basically add adjectives and add adverbs. Action nouns are nominalized verb phrases. And the small text are the so-called syntactic pronouns. We will take a look at them later. I'm procrastinating within the video. Noun declension. Noun declines on case, on number, and then we also have noun classes. Nouns are basically classed as anything you like. There are almost an infinite number of noun classes. For example, organisms can be classified not just as an organism, but also as part of an animal kingdom, or perhaps even as a phylum, class, order, a family, genus, etc. Normally, organisms are classified as arbitrary categories based on the organism kingdoms. So you have the organism kingdoms, and then you branch them into different things. For example, the Japanese cherry, the Prunus cerulata, can be classified as a prunus, a rosaceae, an angiosperm, a plantae, a decorative or non-decorative plant, or anything a lot more based on context and what you want to emphasize about the Prunus cerulata. Noun classes can also be for fields of research such as science, humanity, and you can classify each study as well. And then we also have the very normal and kind of noun classes like shape, color, size, material, and basically the arbitrary traditional groups of things. Verb declension. Verb declines on lexical aspect. Lexical aspect is composed of three things, whether it's voluntary, neutral, involuntary, telic, atelic, or static, punctual, or durative. Now they are also they are abbreviated as the first letter of each word, respectively. For example, ISD later in the glossing of the translation. So do be mindful of that. Verb declension. Verbs decline for the associated action, i.e. how the subject and objects are moving while the action occurs, or before and after that. Now we also decline for aspect, for mood, for voice, and for tense, evidentiality, and mirativity of the speaker, the addressee, both the speaker and the addressee, the subject of the sentence, the object of the sentence, both the subject and the object of the sentence, or a mix of a few of them or all of them. So far, so good. I've kept the time to a minimum. It's finally not going to be like 30 minutes. Personal demonstrative pronouns. Now here is where it's going to get better. These are the pronouns. Pronouns can be suffixed with cases and then prefixed onto verbs to conjugate for person. You only do this where there are nouns that are in the ergative, accusative, intransitive, or identitive case. Now these nouns are differentiated also based on the gender, the style, the status, and also, I forgot to put that here, the number. I just realized, why did I not change this while I was recording for like the 4th or 10th time? But anyways, I forgot to do that, so please forgive me. Pre-declaration here is something that is not really a thing. A pre-declaration is where all parts of speech are listed before the main body of the text, the clause, like a variable, like in coding. It follows the following format. You have the adverb itself, and then the syntactic pronoun for the word adverb, and then you attach a number if there's multiple of them. Verb lexical aspect. Basically, you have the verb itself, and then you suffix it with the lexical aspect, and then you prefix the syntactic pronoun for verb, and with the lexical aspect affix, and then you affix a number onto the end of it if there are multiple of them. Same with adjective with adverb. At the noun, you have the noun first, and then the class of the noun prefixed before the syntactic pronoun for noun. And the same for extent with adverb and adjective. So here, this is where the syntactic pronoun comes into place. And this is required for most speech styles and is quite important to the Bab people, as it is a way of demonstrating the ability to do proper speech and mannerisms. Now, syntactic body, this is a phrase that uses the declared syntactic pronouns and other pronouns to inform the role of each part of the speech. These are declined with affixes of everything. You basically do that with this instead of what is done before. Now, word order within the syntactic body also matters, except for when it is the last clause within a sentence or it is the only clause within a sentence. The verb is put first, otherwise it is put last. For some speech styles, the verb syntactic pronoun is not used. Instead, you just use the syntactic pronoun for verbs ba after the end of the sentence succeeding a comma, which is conjugated instead. Now, the order of the position of this conjugation phrase, the thing that I just said is called the conjugation phrase, is always put to last within the syntactic body. In doubling, in certain speech styles, all pre-declared words are stated again after the syntactic body phrase in an n-doubling phrase, where each word is used in its original form in the order of their appearance within the syntactic body. This is one of the quirky things that contributes to the idea of proper mannerism. Well, it is considered rather proper and perhaps sometimes overly serious in certain cases by the Bab people if you use n-doubling. But do note of when you can actually use it. This is the format of changing something into a thing. Basically how you would form relative clauses. You have the first clause on the top left, and then the now new word type on the top right, and then it is kind of encircled within a larger phrase where you would use it as an entire unit. Writing structure, and we write something like this with that's how you do the thing. Kind of get an idea of how it works. With n-doubling, you would just repeat. For example, in the first one, you just put sleep after the line of the glossing again, the syntactic body, so not glossing. And then for the second one, true ID, said against verb, etc., you would just do true, ecstatic, and then after the syntactic body. And then for the last one, you would do cow, dislike, and that is how it works. This, this after glossing would look like this. But what it roughly means is, I don't like the cow that is being ecstatic and in the state of sleeping. Now, I know that doesn't make sense, but don't really care. speech styles, basically like formalities and tones, etc. But tones, not tones. We'll take a look at the tones later. We have 6 speech styles: casual, artistic, regular, professional, formal, and ceremonial. The pre-declaring is only used with regular, professional, formal, and ceremonial, not for casual and artistic. For casual, you just don't declare it at all, you just use the syntactic pronouns straight away. For artistic ones, you would just use the words themselves and you do not need the syntactic pronouns. For end doubling is only done with professional and ceremonial because it is thought to contribute to accuracy as well as proper politeness. Okay. Verb conjugation. For all of them except formal, the verb is conjugated. For formal and ceremonial, you also use the thing where you just put ba at the end of the sentence and then conjugate that. And for formal, you don't use the verb at all within the syntactic body, but for ceremonial, you first use the conjugated verb syntactic pronoun, and then at the end you do it again, basically. Now, so good, so far so good, I meant, but it gets better, as it suggests. Phonology and orthography I've left it to last because it's the best part. This is the consonants. We have ba, ba, and then ba, ba, and we also have ah. And then the vowels, yay. This orthography is wrong, okay? I just discovered that the superscript M can be put on top of the letter. And this looks a lot better. So the vowels are a, and they can be rounded and nasalized respectively, or both. Tones. Just don't ignore that. Okay, tones, my lovely. We have 33 basic tones. So let me read them for you, okay? And then we can also double the amount of tones available. We can put this on top of the tone diacritics to break the tones with a glottal stop. For example, would become ah. But for the dipping tones, actually, they are split into 3 parts by this diacritic. So would actually become instead of ah. Vowel length, we have long, regular, and short. Very basic. And here is how we compose a proper character. This is a legal vowel to be formed. This is pronounced like and it's long. Okay, it's long. So first of all, we have the main character, and then surrounding it, first of all, is the tones, and then the broken tones sign, diacritic I meant, and then roundedness, and then nasality, and then length. Look at it. It looks like Zalgo text, does it not? It's amazing. It's lagging my computer. Numbers. Numbering system is pretty wild, in my opinion. In my humble, not so humble opinion. Ignore that theta. It uses a base 3 times 11 system, which means that for the first digit, it is base 11. And then for the second one, it is base 3. The third, 11. The fourth, 3. The fifth, 11. The sixth, 3, etc. Note that the digit is counting from the least significant to the most significant, okay? So here's an example number, 1425, which would be 10,000 theta 106 in the base 11 times 3 numbering system, which would be pronounced as in Bab. My pronunciation is not very good. Please do. I do beg your pardon. Now, time for the translation. The translation. It looks like this from left to right. The left picture is the first sentence, the middle is the second, and the last is the third. For each sentence, you need to open it with ba'a and close it with ba'a. Now that is compulsory. And normally it would be written something like this. It is written top to bottom. So enough explaining. Time to listen to the beautiful sound of the Bab language. Ba a ba a ba 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 According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. Ba ba b b bé b ba b ba ba b Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. Ba The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Ooh, it is done. First try. Okay. Oh yeah, and also just for the theme, when you want to get the attention for your addressee, you need to throw a rock at them. Preferably not a sharp one, so that you don't accidentally disalive them. But yeah, do not try this at home. Oh, God. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time, possibly.